Whether you're recording a live band with multiple microphones or a session player in the studio with a single mono channel, recording those precious moments is crucial to the creative process, and it's one of Nuendo's most important functions. In this movie tutorial, we're going to show you how to prepare Nuendo for recording live external audio sources using whatever audio interface you have installed in your system. A few preliminary steps will ensure that you're always ready to go without any setup hassles. There are several main areas you will be dealing with when you're ready to set up Nuendo for recording audio. The first area is the VST connection setup window. If you remember, we covered this section in the introduction topic during the setup and configuration movie tutorial. This window contains information on how the inputs and outputs of your audio interface are set up to communicate with Nuendo and the VST mixer. Since we already have this set up, it's probably not necessary to make any changes here. But just remember that this is the area to go to in case you need to make changes to your input routing before you begin recording your audio. Next is the actual channel setup. Setting up an audio channel to record can be done either from within the project management page using the channel inspector or from the main VST mixer. For those of you used to working on a console, you may find using the mixer easier to understand. If you click the option to extend the mixer view and view the input-output settings, you'll see these parameters appear for each channel. You'll also find the actual input bus channels located directly to the far left of the mixer. Now that we are here in the mixer, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the key functions you will use when you're setting up a channel to record. First, you'll need to assign the proper input channels. If you click on the input field, a list of all the available inputs will appear. This list is created from the VST connections page that we've set up earlier. The input configuration will also reflect whether you are using a mono or stereo channel. Once you have your input set, you can reverse the input phase if necessary. Now that you have your input selected, you'll want to refer to the corresponding input channel to check for levels using the input channel buses to the far left. Here we can see we currently have some level coming in from inputs 1 and 2, so it looks like we're all set. Now we need to record enable the audio track. This is easily done by just pressing the record button. Once it's red, the track is armed and ready to record. If you need to hear the signal while you're recording, you can enable the monitor button and the signal will now be heard through whatever output is set for this audio track. In this case, the audio track is set to output on stereo bus 1 and 2. If you need zero latency monitoring, you can enable the direct monitoring feature within the device setup, as long as your audio interface supports it. If you need to set up a multi-track recording environment, you can easily enable other tracks to record as well by just pressing their record buttons. The number of tracks you can record at the same time is limited only by the available I/O you have and the performance of your computer and hard drives. A neat trick to help save time is setting the input channel on more than one track at a time. Let's say that you're using a patch band in your studio, and you're always going to use the same inputs on your audio interface to record something. Instead of having to set the inputs on each channel individually, you can shift and highlight all the channels you need. Once they are highlighted, you can option click on the input selector, and it will change the input for all the channels that you highlighted. This is a great way to save time. So in summary, we've learned that there are several important steps to setting up Nuendo before you begin recording audio into your projects. Once you have these key areas set up, you'll find yourself up and ready to go in no time. It's also important to remember the VST connection setup and how it corresponds with the input channels you have available for recording. Now that we have these areas set up, we are ready to begin recording. And Nuendo offers numerous ways of recording audio into your projects. We'll cover these areas next, starting with the transport recording functions.